wanna do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you wanna do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast.
Come? Alright, I'll do my own bit for myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hey Dave.
Hey Boater.
So I heard a rumor that there's going to be a new Ssx game on the way. The rumor actually linked because Annie Lennox on Twitter mentioned that she was contacted to do the lead song for the game, but ultimately couldn't come up with enough subject matter around "Sweet Dreams Are Made of Skis."
Who am I to downhill ski? Who am I to
You can't rhyme skis with ski,
to
Dave.
powder free?
Okay. We're working on it.
Travel Black Diamonds and 7.
Guys, Nerd Glasses is canceled. We're doing this. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast, or a parody script workshop. We're not sure. I'm Boater.
I'm Dave Man.
Whatever this show will end up being, who am I to thaw and freeze? There we go.
Hell yes. Could our producer kick the Stream Deck? It's displaying us nothing.
Maybe just boop the Elgato software a little bit. But so hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. We've got he's running away with it. Oh my. Kick
you know
was
what?
meant to be used metaphorically. You weren't supposed to actually smack it.
No, he didn't smack it. He is effectively handling it. He's handling it.
If you can bring up the software and just give the software a good boot to the head, that'd be great.
I can't throw the computer.
Either
Well,
that, Steve,
you
or we're
could.
just going to have to yell at you when we need a scene change.
Change places!
No. Let's get things started off, though, with a Twitch ban. Aside from this particular Stream Deck getting banned from our program for apparently being so difficult, yeah, making sure it's plugged into the right one may help. Yes, no? I don't know. Oh, some of the stuff got disconnected over here, like the camera one, so make sure that the hub is properly plugged in. Like, we've got power, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's got a data connection. This is the kind of thing we really should have sorted out in the last 2 hours that we were sitting here doing nothing, but, you know, it's fine. Well, not doing nothing. You were
Not
running the store.
nothing.
I was doing nothing.
And you weren't doing nothing. We were building camaraderie. We were representing Insane Games and Insane Games TV to patrons that would come into the store and answering the inevitable questions of, why are you screaming at that man? No reason. What we do to our producer is none of your business.
We manage our own internal team dynamic as best we can. Anyway, Twitch ban. I forget if we covered it here. Some months ago, a streamer named Destiny was banned for basically inciting and organizing hate raids against someone named Keffels. Keffels is kind of a political streamer. She does a lot of stuff for like trans awareness, LGBTQ rights, and such like that. And Destiny was permanently banned from Twitch after he incited hate raids and, according to Keffels, quote, weaponized a hate form that is implicated in multiple suicides against me in an attempt to ruin my life. So that was like 4 or 5 months ago. Keffels was going to go live, I think yesterday, and more or less just kind of, hey, here's the fallout, here's what I'm still dealing with. And minutes before going live, she was banned from Twitch. It's hooray!
Thank you, Steve.
Steve, high five. Okay, it's not plugged into a an extension. Thank you. We'll figure the hub out some other time. Anyway, she was mass reported before going live at Destiny's urging. There's screenshots going around from chat logs on that hate forum, whatever. His community also bombarded her chat when she went to YouTube to do the stream there, and she had to turn off chat. There is discussion that the thumbnails that she used to preview the stream included like screenshots of things that he called her, including numerous slurs. The kind of thing that, when taken in proper context, it's clearly she's not calling others that. This is reporting on what she's been called, but it's that that could be used for mass reporting and abusing the system. Hey, she's featuring me so much that you should report her for ban evasion, haha, kind of thing. It is a 30-day ban that Twitch has not publicly stated exactly why she was banned, and as of this moment hasn't been undone.
What a bunch of assholes!
What a bunch of assholes!
Like,
the fact that I had to go into so much background of what was happening. I mean, it's more interesting than some of the ones that I covered that are like, whoops, someone did a TOS whoopsie doodles. End of story. Like, that's at least. I forget if we covered the original ban of. I just realized I'm shouting. I apologize.
that's okay.
I forget if we covered the original ban of Destiny getting banned, but kind of a follow up to that news from earlier. So these headphones are really good at making me not be able to hear anything. That's why I shout.
You could potentially say that this ban is some sort of Destiny's Child of bans, and it's truly what they want: a hot dog. Give them what they need: a hot dog. I don't actually listen to the song when it comes on, because it could be dun 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 dun. I saw dun 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 dun. Hot dog dun. Don't know.
I have no idea what happened in the last 60 seconds. Anyway, Dave, how are you doing?
You ever listened to Destiny's Child? You're
not in a long time.
Purveyor of the children.
Not in a long time.
Of the children of Destiny. That's a Dune subchapter, if we're being totally honest.
Oh my.
All right.
Anyway, that's who's banned in the last 7 days. Keffel's getting absolutely screwed over by people weaponizing hate raids and garbage like that. Garbage human beings and communities of garbage human beings, and I hope that Twitch reverses that post-haste. What do we have coming out in the next 7 days to look forward to?
Well, you have that, and now you have got original game from 2004, but this title presented in Nerd Division. Coming out on the 20th.
It just tickled our nerd vision.
PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Windows, and Switch. It is the return of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. A game mired in development controversy, in post-game controversy. My God, you have not heard companies have just misfiring left, right, and center between the game engine it was developed on, between the release date, all the other projects, all these things. And us nerds just wanted more Wizards of the Coast games because, spoiler alert, the Dark Alliance games are at their core the one thing that an incredibly nerdy game should be: fun to play. Between 5 different player characters, you have your stereotypical mages, spellcasters, paladins, straight-up fighters, all these different things going on. And it is a D&D adventure based around storylines in canon in the Baldur's Gate Forgotten Realms universe. The game itself, pretty fun. I probably won't be grabbing this day one just because I have such a busy library coming on. But
I gotta make sure my friend Conrad knows about this. He basically stormed down my door and was like, "We are playing this." We recorded it for YouTube and just did 3 episodes between me, him, and our friend Ian of playing this and having just a really good time, kind of screwing around with it. So I gotta make sure that hey, you know about this, right? You know about this, right? It's gonna be a good time. I mean, half of the time that we were playing was just screwing around with cheat codes and being overpowered, and it was still hella fun. So.
Mr. Wet Baldur's Gate? Yeah, you know.
Always good games, though, he says. And I only played Dark Alliance, not the second one. I may pick it up.
The second one, so this one also in the franchises of fantasy games and things like that, a lot of times they just kind of go, well, it's the second one. Here's new characters and this and that. They deal with two directly set, like, shows you, hey, here's what happened to the characters in the first one. Like, unlike Oblivion and the Elder Scrolls franchises, where they just kind of errata it and being like, yeah, when your character gets powerful enough, you become pseudo-god status, and so people kind of forget whether you existed or whether you were just folk tales. And I love that explanation. I really do, because that works. How do you get a god-tier character to suddenly stop existing? You either Goku them, where they literally go, I'm done helping you, and they're gone, or you just forget they existed in the first place.
I must return home.
Away! So
I almost clotheslined the stream deck off the table.
After Boder's egregious photo/statue that he shared with us yesterday, I thought, why not share and share alike with this second game coming out? This game coming out on the 21st for Android, iOS, PlayStation 4, and Windows. It's Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp.
Oh man, Danganronpa, everybody.
So, this game has quite a bit of fan servicey things going on, but it is most of the side material from Danganronpa version 3. It takes place on Jabberwock Island. 62 students have 50 days to finish a summer test program, which in the game itself is 50 turns. That's right, it's a big-ass 50-turn Mario Party game.
Yeah!
Good luck, and get yourself strapped on in there for that. Of course, the franchise is based around the idea that you've gone to this island, you're going to be trying to, best everybody and do all these studies, but our good friend Monokuma, the titular antagonist of the game, fucks it up for everybody, and just biffs it and brings enemies, and now you have to deal with this.
Danganronpa is basically Battle Royale times Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, it was.
It's oh hey, you're in a school or on a school trip. That's Danganronpa 1 and 2. I have not played nor watched 3 yet, and by watched I mean I watched Game Grumps play 1 and 2. It's like, well, now you gotta kill each other. Whoever can do it without being found out wins, and everybody else dies. So it's got the battle royale aspect, but with the Phoenix Wright kind of like investigating and trial and everything like that.
So if you like Mario Party, but the stakes are even higher, instead of just losing a cake or potentially being able to thrust thine at mine enemies, this will be a pickup for you on those systems. And our last one is I'm curious what trailer Steve found for this.
So before I clicked it, it said no bung, and now that I click the button, it says yes bung. Steve has a lot of fun with our stream deck.
I like our producer. I really do. I appreciate all the work he puts in. But
like
I think that he has more fun than us sometimes. This game is a game that we've actually sold in store before.
Okay.
This game, titled Nobunaga's Ambition, parentheses, Rebirth. This is the 16th installment of the Nobunaga's Ambition franchise, taking place in Japan, as opposed to a franchise that I play often on the weekend Wednesday called Dynasty Warriors, taking place in China. This game coming out on the 21st for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch. It is taking place in the Sengoku period of 1467 and between 1467 and 1615. There are 2,200 characters that you can use in this strategy game.
It's too many.
Turn-based, of course, as all of the Nobunaga's Ambitions
I'm
games
gonna
have been.
put that into perspective. In a game of Age of Empires, the population limit is 200, and some units will use up more than that. But let's just say 200. You have 200 guys on each map. You can have a total of 8 players for a total of 1,600 population on the map at once, and even then, that's kind of rough. There's half again that many individual characters in this game. That's too many.
So, as y'all know from past streams, where I get kind of mad about game screens that just introduce character after character after character after character, I thought to myself,
Tally.
how could this happen? But I did find out some good news.
Oh, God.
That this game currently is only being released in Japan on the 21st. The rest of the world will just have to wait until either someone buys me a copy of this and sends it to me, or it gets ported over onto the Switch or the PlayStation, because it will eventually.
I feel like making you play it in Japanese would be
May
hilarious.
God help us all. Because I'll tell you, I've played Nobunaga's Ambition on the NES. Mike, me, I know Dan was in the store for a little while we were like putzing with it. Because we were like, oh, this is cool-ish. Turn off, walk away.
Yeah.
But 2,200 characters, because why would you want to ever have to look at the same person in your entire playthrough ever?
When you get the first batch of characters all at once, go make dinner, do some laundry, watch an episode of The Boys. You still have 10 minutes left.
The thing I kind of like about this game, though, is that they really did revamp the action. Sorry, guys, this is the game that I spent a lot of time on because I was really into this and really disappointed that I wouldn't be able to play it. But they've really advanced it to where the AI characters will actually take turns during your turn as you command them to, as opposed to you having to individually click and do all these things.
Okay.
Which I really like, because again, with 2,200 characters, you don't have time to talk to everybody. The other thing I will say that I'm very hopeful with this game is that this is a, rebirth of an original franchise game.
Yep.
And it means that Koei Tecmo has had to go back and look at the older franchises and things like that, and maybe, perhaps, they'll stop it with all the things that they're currently doing. Stop it! Bad, Koei Tecmo! Bad! Yeah.
You good?
No, I never will be again, but I'm looking forward to that game coming out on PlayStation 4 and Switch on the 21st. Come get it while it's hot.
So looking forward to that. Obviously, I'm gonna have to work with some people to get a Japanese copy of that into your hands. But until then, Dave, what have you been playing? What have you been playing the past 7 days? Watching, reading, etc., etc.
So I have a little bit of a rant about this segment, but I will say, been playing a lot of Monster Hunter. Was able to get into the PlayStation Overwatch 2 beta.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun with that. It's a very good game. I creamed some people in MLB The Show. I am currently second or third in the Playmaker League with the San Francisco Giants. So here we go with that. I only have like 20-something matches left to play. Steve, how many more do you have to play?
All of them.
All of them. He's got all of them, except for mine.
Okay.
You and I played, and then you lost to the Yankees. So you've got 26 minus 2. You've 24 more to go. Before Labor Day. One Sunday, we're just going to lock ourselves in here. Just baseball it up.
And I'm gonna live stream just not the gameplay or anything, just the camera up in the corner as you guys go mad.
That'd be fun. That would genuinely be fun. I know.
Actually, yeah, that would be a fun, just like Insane Games live stream of like not really caring about the gameplay, but just like setting up a camera in the corner. Dave,
you got a double play on you. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Boater? That's a bad thing. Oh, Are
I
both-
know baseball, okay?
Are both of your players supposed to get out there in that moment? No, Boater, that's very bad. Now I'm behind 2 runs, and now it's the 8th
I
inning.
know baseball. You hit enough batters, and sure, some points are scored against you, but then they can't do anything when they come up to the plate, and you get easy outs the rest of the game. That's how you play baseball.
That is actually a legitimate old game strategy. It's called Taranga Leela's beanball strategy.
I think current day baseball would have you out of pitchers before they're out of batters.
Depending on the settings. But yes, myself and Amp Slayer did try that.
hit enough battery. I think you meant to say batters, but that is battery.
No, hit enough batteries.
That is battery.
Commit enough battery, and you'll win the game by forfeiture. So I will say that I was really excited about some news and some clips and some things that I've heard, some hoopla about the most recent season of Stranger Things.
Okay.
Have you watched it?
I have not.
Are you
I
going to
never
watch
got. I never got into it. I'm thinking I kind of want to, but at this point, I know that it's been renewed for a 5th and final season, so I am fine waiting until season 5's about to come out. Time to binge 1 through 4 and then watch 5.
Okay. In good conscience, when we were doing conventions and things, I had to watch the first season because so many people were talking about it, and I had not a clue, and we had a lot of Stranger Things merchandise, and I wanted to be at least an iota familiar with these characters.
Yeah.
Mr. Wet actually carried us like the first 2 days of Saratoga Comic-Con with that, because every time someone would ask something, he'd be like, ha 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 ha, why don't you go to my associate Mike for that? Like, what an unfortunate thing. Well, they introduced me to a character, and I don't want to like spoil or anything, but just they introduced a character. I learned more about that character, and I was like, you know what? I'm genuinely gonna hop back in, and I'm gonna try to watch, and I'm gonna do these things. And I'll tell you why Stranger Things really doesn't appeal to me as a person. It's a coming of age story at its core.
Yeah, and I think that's why I avoided it at first. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, sure, it's got like some supernatural elements or whatever, but I think the core of the story is the kind of thing that might not appeal to me, and that's why I avoided it.
My career is in education. I already get to do a really cool episodic year-long coming-of-age story. So I don't want my media to be a fucking coming-of-age story. Would rather just blow my toes off. So I avoid coming-of-age stories. They bore me to tears.
Yep.
Because guess what? My students, better than yours. Just saying it, all right? It's fact. The judge spoke. But
The judge has spoken, folks. I have no control over what the judge
I'm
rules.
very sorry. The judge, he spoke. I spoke to the council. They already said my student's better than yours. Sorry. They're really cool. Yours aren't. But this character was introduced, and he likes metal music. Very empathetic to those people, but mirrors regular people. And I was like, hell yes, I'm in. And then I learned some stuff, and now done. Once again, dead to me. Not going to bother watching it.
Okay.
They even had a clip where he played a Metallica song in the Upside Down, and I watched the clip. It was really cool. Metallica famously, who were like, "Ooh, they're gonna, this and that and the other." Like, and Metallica was even like, "No, cool is cool." Like, that was a really good use of our music.
They did a really cool, like, hey, fandom comes from everywhere. People can be fans of our music from Stranger Things. People can be fans of our music from hearing it in a show 30 years ago. Whatever. And there was some stuff going around that, like, yeah, I could complain about people being fans of Metallica because of Stranger Things, but we all know that my music taste came from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, so.
So, Stranger Things. We have the famous segment on Behind the Counter, and now Dead to Dave. Stranger Things. For now.
Okay. Okay.
Also, Mr.
Wow.
Wet, myself, and Steve all tried to watch the Resident Evil television show. Steve thought it was bad.
In case you couldn't hear that, let me try to quote in the best way to try to exactly replicate what he said. It was bad!
Very Triple H of you, Steve. Very Triple H of you. Mike watched it, but then like I looked up and I realized the TV was on. Are you still watching this? And no, we weren't. Like, I'm earnestly going to give it another shot.
Okay.
Just because of some of the actors in it being badass as hell.
It's interesting, the stuff that like you try to watch one time and you just can't get into it. Like I need to give Good Omens a second shot. The one time that I tried to give it a shot, I was like sick and only able to pay so much attention, and I was just like, I am more interested in the back of my eyelids right now. So
that's what I've been kind of gaming on. That's what I've been playing on, and that's what I've been watching. What about you, Boater? What have you been playing? What have you been watching?
Watching, not really anything new. The same old on YouTube. Gamecome's just finished playing Sonic Generations. That was cool to watch.
Nerd Glasses bump for Game Grumps. You're welcome.
Playing. The only new thing that I played in the past week has been Astro's Playroom, which, if you're not familiar, is the game that comes with a PS5. Steph snagged a PS5. Yes. I mean, to be fair, she also got the bundle with Horizon Forbidden West, but I'm probably going to wait on doing that until I can play the game on Brunch with Boater or something. I am not sure. We'll see.
Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Wet laying down the truth, as only Mr. Wet can, saying Steve loved the Resident Evil show. Not liked, loved it.
Resident Evil show bad, Playroom good.
Playroom is very good.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we'll do this. We'll be able to feel some of the DualSense stuff, and it just like, you know, Steph did a level first, then she passed it to me. I switched to my profile, started up, and it was like, it's one thing to know that it has different zone vibration in the controller. It's another to feel it, to feel the little bit of vibration as he's like, you know, running around on different surfaces, to hear. Like I couldn't hear from across the room how the mic in the controller is used to help give situational audio. And meanwhile, when I'm holding it, it's like, oh yeah, right there. So that was really cool. Totally 100% of trophies on that one.
I did. Matt, what free time are you people having? It's adorable that each world is a part of PS5. So now officially,
So like we played through a couple days ago, and then last night we decided to be a little more completionist on it. We each got all the puzzle pieces, all the artifacts. So
just as another like little fun caveat for all you folks watching at home. Now that Boater and Steph have a PS5, everyone on camera on the Nerd Glasses on a weekly basis has a PlayStation 5 and is also married.
Sure. Those are causally linked.
Yes, of course. You're successful if you have a PlayStation 5, or you're Mr. Wet. It's just it's in the rules. It is.
Awesome.
Just the way it works.
Aside from that, we are 2-zip with everyone else on the channel.
No. We are quantifiably 2-zip because you have to make sure you put those metrics out front because.
Anyway, aside from Astro, like we have a few things that we want to get for the PS5. Haven't done so yet, but you know the PS4 has now moved to the bedroom. The PS3 is probably going to go in the guest room. Just doing the whole shuffle of stuff around. But
you know what you should definitely get?
What's that?
You should definitely get the PS5 of Death Stranding. You should.
Yeah, Steph may have picked that up on the way home.
Indefinitely get that because. Oh my god, that game was good on PS4. And oh my god, is it good on PS5?
In fact, I think we've got Death Stranding on to talk about that later today. Now that you know, on the show, we'll see if we can get to it. But yeah, so Boater has a PS5 now, so it's yay. Just pick that up, says Demon Dragon. Awesome. So let's keep going then. If we do want to get to Death Stranding, because we're halfway through the show, and I know we got a lot of things, so we'll see if we can get to Death Stranding. No promises, but fingers crossed. But first, we need to do the Web3 Roundup, formerly known as the NFT Roundup.
I was going to say, please continue to quantify that because I don't remember what Web3 is. ever.
It's stupid.
You've said it now 3 weeks in a row, and every time you say it, I'm like, huh? What?
Wah. Wah, wah. And this week, it's not necessarily video game related, but there was uh, when you think of the Kia Soul, what do you think?
Square.
Good. Do you think of any particular like mascots or anything in the advertising?
The hamsters, maybe?
Yes, the hamsters that have been advertising the Soul for like 15 years now. And I admit that sometimes they've gone through a little bit of update, a little bit of refreshing, whatever. Kia decided to make a bold move and to replace the hamsters with these
Hipsters?
these things.
They replaced them with hamsters! What? I'm outraged! I don't
These are not just any skeletons. These are hold my bile. Dead Army Skeletons Club characters. These are NFT characters that are being used to advertise the Kia Soul. And like I get that there is a lead time on advertisement, but their marketing should have been like, huh. So turns out that to even mention going into NFTs is now basically toxic to a brand. Maybe we should put the kibosh on this? No. Nope, they went with it. And it's just...
So, could this have been, just as a thought, the designer of the hamster ads and things doesn't work for them anymore? Maybe they lost the licensing to the hamsters. Maybe Alvin and the Chipmunks, took that deal away, and now it's out. They're on tour with the Chipmunks, and now they went to these poor schmucks with their NFTs who have no money now because they are worthless, and bought those for a song. Could that be?
Well, when they started doing this, there probably was decent worth in that. I'm sure it's cratered by now. But also, no, if you design something for an advertising agency or an advertising agency designs something for a client, the client is the one that holds the copyright for all that stuff. The individual designer doesn't get jack shit.
After their initial payment for property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's if they design it while under contract for an advertising agency, it belongs from the get-go to the advertising agency, and they're just being paid to make it for them.
That would be more sad, but the most depressing part is that the hamsters aren't there, and they're not dancing.
Yeah, like the hamsters were like. I mean, I get if they're not necessarily your thing. They could go, they were adorable, whatever. They could have just advertised the Soul without it, but no, they're gonna do it with these stupid
I don't like that
Funko Pop looking pieces of garbage.
I don't like, by the way, that they don't show the interior of the vehicle at any point.
They do for like a moment. But it's I'm gonna be honest. As someone that works for a car dealership that works in the automobile industry, the interior probably isn't changed year over year. They've updated the exterior. It has a slightly new look. The headlights are redesigned. It looks overall cleaner. The interior is probably exactly the same as the previous model year, so they're not bothering.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway.
I know my next car won't be a Kia. Thank you so much for the follow, Sad Bears. Boater, you know what? After seeing those depressing bobble-headed skeletons, I know exactly what we can do to clear the palate. And by that I mean...
I was smiling. I'm not anymore.
I forgot the Grey Poupon ice cream at home because someone texted me at 9:30? 10:30? 10:30 today while I'm at work. So instead, I found something by our same friends that made the macaroni and cheese gummies.
Oh god! Oh no!
They made
Oh no!
a gummy Lunchable. Hang on, I'm going to hold this closer to the camera.
Oh no!
And guess what?
David? Why?
And guess what? They have 2 different flavors, and I have the other one at home. And I'll take that out if we get other things. But this is Lunchables, the Cracker Stackers gummy. So,
Dave, when would you like a text to remember the Grey Poupon ice cream?
Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Okay, let me see here. Schedule message. Sunday, July 24th at what time?
At noon.
At noon.
Throw that right in the garbage, says Mr. Wet.
Done. All right. You're going to get a message at noon on Sunday, and I'm going to forget about it, but my phone won't.
All right. So,
Dave, I don't...
Steve, would you like a gummy Lunchable?
So how all in are we going on this? Like, are we straight up going to make a gummy sandwich out of this?
I mean, I am. I don't know about you guys,
Okay.
but I am going to, because they packaged it with 2 crackers, 8 crackers paired in 2s.
Yep.
They made a facsimile good God, that is
Pull.
sealed. And so we sprayed gummy all over the studio.
God.
Hi, friend.
Hi. Hold on. Just on the corner. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Dave, they're gonna fly if you pull that off all the way.
No, it'll be fine.
Okay, so
Go
so
big or
there's
go
enough
home,
for
says
4
Demon Dragon.
sandwiches, which means that each one you can put 2 pieces of something in the middle. So I'm gonna
So there's only 2 per flavor.
yes. So I'm going to take a piece of cheese and what appears to be a pepperoni.
Are you going to take yellow American or white American?
I'm gonna take the orange.
Mr. Wet says 1 meat and 1 cheese.
Yeah.
1 meat, 1 cheese, 1 cracker is the classy way a gentleman eats Lunchables.
I'm making a sandwich. 2 crackers.
So, hang on. I want to
Yep.
get my
You
cheese.
need to grab a cheese as well. Kuba, thank you very much for the raid. How's it going, everybody? We are trying some gummy Lunchables. Steve, I am worried because remember, this is the same people that made the Kraft Mac and Cheese Lunchable. You said
That
was so disappointing. It was a gummy. It didn't taste anything like mac and cheese.
So I know the camera's not going to capture it, but I'm holding it up in the hopes that maybe it does.
Let me get my head out of the way, and then maybe it'll focus nice and close.
But long story short, the cracker itself has a little bit of texturing on it. Not a lot.
It does.
Not a
Yep.
lot.
Yeah, spongy's a word.
Does it taste like meat and cheese and cracker? Kinda.
Ready? Oh, I hate that. I hated just biting into 4 layers of gummy. I don't know why I expected anything else. Boy, that sure is disappointing ass gummy.
I'm tasting not bad gummy. Like, not bad gummy.
I
But-
mean, yeah.
For the shapes that they're supposed to be, cheese and meat and cracker, none of that.
No, nothing. Nothing. There's nothing as far as taste goes. They are fine as gummy.
It has a slightly different flavor.
Yeah, but said flavors aren't necessarily going to be accurate to what they're supposed to be.
So I will warn everybody that the other Lunchable...
Nothing about this says cheese. Nothing about this says pepperoni or salami or whatever cured meat.
I'll warn you guys because they, obviously the pepperoni turkey cheese combos are some of the more, bog standard ones. The other gummy Lunchable they had was the pizza. And it had a sauce packet that was probably just one of those sugar pastes. One of these days I will bring it by.
Please do.
And
I wish more terrible things upon my digestive system.
Oh yes. Diabetes.
Here, Steve, you can have the last one.
I'll take one of those crackers.
Okay. Dave is going to have another cracker.
Yeah.
Letting Steve eat the rest as a classy person should. Apparently, 1 meat, 1 cheese, 1 cracker.
If I don't come in tomorrow, you'll know why.
Because you didn't set an alarm.
My digestive system would be the perfect alarm for this.
Yeah, it'll get you up at
Steve, what have I
8
been telling
a.m.
you?
and also 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 5:30 a.m.
I've been telling him for months now, never get old, Steve.
Too late.
He never listens.
He doesn't. Don't get old, Steve, because that's what happens. Your digestive system suddenly starts being your alarm clock. Or your cat.
Your
Or in your
digestive
case,
system starts being your cat? That's weird.
sometimes.
Okay, well, Hey, as long as we're all feeling kind of gross, let's talk about the CEO of Unity. Last...
Go on. No, go
no,
on.
that's fine. That's
I
one of my
just-
favorite segues I've ever done.
I can't. Yuck. Yuck.
Exclamation point clip.
In fact, there's only one person that we like less than that guy.
What else can I help you with?
You can meet yourself up with John Riccitiello. I probably mispronounced that. Who is currently the CEO of Unity. If the name sounds at all familiar, he was the CEO of EA from about 2007 to 2013. That timeline makes sense because in 2012, after everything happening with Mass Effect 3, EA won the Worst Company in America award from Consumerist, and then won it again in 2013, just a month or so after he was forced out of the company.
Yuck.
So we've got a real bang-up guy here.
Yuck.
So he was speaking about mobile games.
Yuck.
And stated that developers who don't build their games around monetization are, and I quote, fucking idiots.
Monetization. Yuck.
When he was first called out on his on these views, he said that the statement was taken out of context.
Mm-hmm.
The context was very plainly visible. This was an unedited, not in prose or anything, just said that was on pocketgamer.biz. So that the whole context was right there. And it was talking about Unity's recent merger with IronSource, which specializes in mobile advertisement and monetization.
Yuck.
Thank you. If that sounds at all familiar, it's because that merger happened shortly after or before Unity laid off like 10% of their workforce.
Yuck.
So they were just very upset about that. Anyway, he also said that articles about it were clickbait. Now, as of yesterday, after massive backlash, not just from the media and mobile developers, but from all corners of the video game industry, he issued one of these boilerplate apology things, just like a screenshot of something pasted onto Twitter, where it seems pretty clear that he's not actually sorry, he just regrets being so open about it.
So,
Hold on, my stomach just said nope.
no worries. Yuck. 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 For all of that. Where was this gentleman doing this interview?
Pocketgamer.biz.
Okay. I really wish, imagine with me for your moment, he's at a convention
Uh-huh.
and he says, and I quote,
Developers who don't build their games around monetization are fucking idiots.
and someone stands up in the audience and goes, "You're a fucking idiot!" And then Keanu Reeves slides onto the stage and goes, "You're fucking idiot!" And then
We're not on the same wavelength at this moment.
like, I really hope that this gas bag goes somewhere. And truly, because this time at EA was truly the embodiment of the term yuck.
Yeah, and like it's rough because Unity is big a lot. Like if you play a video game, there is a very, very good chance it was developed on either Unreal Engine or Unity. Probably Unity, among other things. It's especially for small developers, it is open source and well, not open source, but it's free to use.
Yes.
And so like it is done really well for itself. But then you get yuck in there that's like, oh, we need Growth. Our business is doing just great. We're an industry standard, and we're making plenty of money. Growth. Capitalism desires growth.
I just
My stomach is dropping, and I'm becoming more and more unhinged.
I want it.
I need a
I
tissue.
want it so bad. I want it so bad, chat, and I will have it one day. This, among so many tone-deaf things that CEOs and executives have said in the public sector in regards to their fans, their potential customers, and things like that. We are unfortunately in the era of social media where no press is bad press is a viable and equitable motto to carry on and have and to take, which is really sad. But
I kind of disagree. Like, a lot of bad press that happens does, like, there is a critical mass where there can be massive backlash.
now, but
Oh, okay.
know.
Sorry, I thought you were saying present day that it's still.
it's now like now today, like this year, last year, 3 years ago, a little bit that started to not be possible, but like companies are still going on the idea of like, well, that guy is like pretty much a hot commodity, but people will be saying our company's name, like
Yeah, but I think that millennials and especially younger generations are more focused on, okay, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, but we're gonna at least try.
We absolutely need to get a graphic of you and I standing in front of a chalkboard with the words with just some sort of slogan about us talking about something that's way bigger than like we absolutely need to have like that just flash across the screen really quick.
Well, again, another potential highlight is just like the number of times that I'm shit talking capitalism as an economic system in this episode, and then just throw the Soviet flag behind it. Oh God, I've become unhinged today. I am out of control.
The sugared gummy luncheon meats have
Oh
done
my
more
God, you could probably hear me belch from clear across the studio.
Oh God, I love this every week, and you can get out on this every week with us by hitting that follow button, ringing that bell, tuning into the programs here on Insane Games TV.
We can't guarantee it's going to be done with Gummy Belly, but we can't guarantee it won't be done with Gummy Belly.
As long as Five Below continues to stock just absolutely ridiculous food, we'll continue to have things.
If you continue to bring in stuff that actually causes me pain, I may have to ban you from that store. Continue.
That's totally fine. Our producer will go to Five Below and get us things because you can't ban both of us. Otherwise, that place will fall over economically. Like
You're just like, Mike, I need you to stop somewhere for me on the way in.
Hey, Mike, I know you're coming in to do Retro Wednesday every Wednesday on Insane Games TV. Could you stop at Five Below and get me and Steve? I'm gonna
Just the most vile-looking thing you can find because at this point it's war on Boner.
I'm gonna Venmo you $20. Just spin around, point at something, and buy it. That's what we need this week.
A pair of shark bedroom slippers.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair.
If you put one on one foot and then you hop over the one on the floor, you have jumped the shark. Anyway, continue.
Yes. Speaking of jumping the shark, our good friends over at Rareware have an issue with shark jumping, and namely driving your boats over sharks. Sea of Thieves Captaincy update was supposed to happen on the 24th this month, and it has been pushed to the 4th of August. Because why wouldn't they let me bring back your first mate Dave pirate character on the weekend Wednesday? No, both of those dates Thursdays. Because why not, Rare? Why not hurt my feelings continually by not releasing me some sweet, sweet Sea of Thieves content? They did say that it was going along with, they wanted to make sure everything was ready to go day one, as opposed to patching it day one or day two or
Yeah.
week, month, or
Yeah, that's
year
fair.
one. That, however, on the 4th of August, you can look forward to being able to name your ship, which in previous iterations were just kind of a nameless ship that you could
Yeah,
color,
buddy.
but, they sank and you got another one and that was whatever.
I remember playing when we were able to name our ships in Elite Dangerous. That was a huge thing. I loved it.
You're also going to be able to customize your ships and what their appearance internally is, which means I can also then hopefully move the brig to the top of the mast. So when I send Vladdy there to be locked up forevermore, because you need a consortium of people to be able to vote on it. He just
Okay.
can't vote himself out, and then if he votes yes and I vote no, it's tied. He has to stay in there. And I really enjoy doing that, and I cannot wait to bring back the scurvy character from COVID times that I created. Coming back, that'll be on the 4th of August, so probably the week after that on the weekend Wednesday, we'll be
Nice.
playing that. And I'll try to get Captain Chad to join us back in the studio. We might have to bring along one of his first mates, his children, depending on if he's watching them or not.
So Blizzard Albany, and actually this story just dropped today. Steve dropped it in our group chat, so thank you very much, Steve, for finding this for us.
And our good friend Sustaina dropped it in the Discord
Oh yes,
as well.
very good call. Because this is so Blizzard Albany, and because we're so close to Albany, we do like to keep an eye on what happens with the studio formerly known as Vicarious Visions. They are openly talking about their attempts to unionize. The studio consists of around 20 developers, or at least I don't know if that's the entire studio or just like the team that was talking there, but basically it's the way that I read it in Washington Post, which broke the story, says roughly 20. They sent a letter to Activision Blizzard management on Thursday requesting that they formally recognize the union. The request was acknowledged, but Activision Blizzard didn't specifically say whether they would recognize the union, stating their usual boilerplate, "We believe that a direct relationship between the company and the employees is the most productive relationship. The company will be publicly and formally providing a response to the petition to the National Labor Relations Board." They said, "Yes, we
Okay.
got your letter."
You know what, though? That's them doing the rank and file for union recognition. Like,
I mean, it's the bare minimum. They did the bare minimum.
They're absolutely going to drag their feet on it because that's the game between companies and unions. But that's a tale as old as time.
Well, it was close to what was it that was it the Bungie subcontractor that ended up unionizing, and basically they were like, "Yeah, go for it. Cool, you're good."
Yeah, but we like Bungie.
Right, but I'm saying that like that one went smoothly as opposed to probably going to be fighting tooth and nail the whole way. But again, keeping in mind that Raven Software, the QA of Raven, also around 20 people, unionized earlier this year and really got this ball rolling. Blizzard Albany stated that the unionization efforts of the QA team at Raven Software provided inspiration for their own efforts. Quote, "Seeing their process, it's been demystifying to see them do it first and have an idea of how things go and how the company might respond. We've already gotten to see someone do it in their own company, and they've been very forthcoming with us, talking to us about what things are like and what problems they've encountered. It's been very, very helpful and inspiring." So again, once the first one does, that makes it a lot easier for more people to do so, and to go through those steps. It's like the first Starbucks unionized last year, and now there's like a dozen of them and still going. It's momentum that carries up, and so we'll probably see this with developers within Activision Blizzard, and then carrying out hopefully to elsewhere in the industry because it really does need it.
And good on them for gathering together after their identity was taken from them, going
Mhm.
from being Vivendi Studios, which was recognized and a staple of the Albany
Vicarious
area.
Visions.
Vicarious Vivendi Studios? Where am I thinking of?
I don't know where Vivendi was, but it's not Albany.
In any case, having their
But yeah,
identity and
so they
company name
became.
taken and becoming Blizzard Albany.
Here's the thing that kind of gets me is that they've been part of Activision Blizzard for under a year and a half. It was early last year that this was announced that Blizzard would be bringing them on, and making them a full on part of Blizzard. Um, how bad is it that less than a year and a half later they're like, we're gonna need some union up in this bitch.
I'm hoping that they are preempting, knowing that they look at the news and things like that
Yeah.
and know that they are now a small company that used to do work with them. They are now part of them and are beholden to all the things and wills and whims that
Yeah.
happen. They may also be making sure that when that Microsoft buyout happens, that they don't
Yeah.
just get quietly shooed out the door.
And because like we also talked about how Jen O'Neill, who was I believe the head at Vicarious Visions, then went on to be the co-chair of Blizzard, but then stated that she was getting nothing. She was being paid less than Mike Ibarra, who was the other co-chair, and anything that she tried to do was getting blocked. So her voice that could have helped out uh, Blizzard Albany, like she ended up leaving because of how she was getting treated. So, like looking at that and seeing how little they might be valued might have been another reason why they're like, all right, we need protections right now. So,
Here's hoping that fight continues, or, just tomorrow, memo gets sent. Hey, we recognize you that you have unionized with this union. We'll make
Yep.
sure to forward all mail and respond accordingly to you now as a unionized group.
just
Because it's actually easier for companies just to deal with that instead of dealing with 20 individuals, would it not be? Like, like
yes, but
one
when
email,
it's
and then
individuals,
it's
they can
their
abuse
job.
it. They can abuse individuals a lot.
Oh
more.
yes. But
So just know, Blizzard Albany, that your semi-local hometown leading video gaming news source stands with you.
hell yeah. Come by the studio sometime. We'd love to have you in and
would
chit
actually
chat
be-
about what you're up to.
That would actually be really cool, and maybe we shouldn't talk about it on air, but we should just see if we can. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. That requires one of us to follow up on something, so we'll see how
I
that
mean,
goes.
excuse
We
me.
have had guests on here, and it's been great. So that would actually be, even if it's not specifically about unionization efforts, which might be something that they can't talk about locally, publicly too much, whatever.
Yeah.
It might still be really cool to be like, hey, so like, what's it? We'll figure it out. We'll send some feelers out and see what we can do. Your local-ish hometown leading video game news
Ford
source.
and I are going to be deployed with my my styrofoam microphone to their headquarters.
Dude, that would be whatever.
Steve's going to roll up and go, "Get out and don't come back without 10 minutes of content." What did you guys wind up getting? We wound up getting arrested. Did you film it? Of course. That's my boys.
I've got my body cam and the body cam with 12 officers. Here we go.
I just have a question about Reinhardt.
Okay.
Speaking of having lots of questions and not a lot of answers, Nintendo's eShops for the 3DS and the Wii U. We are finally told they are going to shut down to new purchases on the 27th of March 2023. That means you will not be able to purchase new things on your Nintendo account as of the 27th of March 2023.
But the store will still be open, so you can still re-download.
That is true. You will still be able to re-download
That just means
software.
you need to buy everything before then.
You will, however, at the end of August, not be able to add points to your account.
August of this year or next year?
This year.
Okay, so end of August of this year, you cannot add points to your account.
Yes.
March 27th next year, whatever you got, you can't use for buying anymore.
Bango. They online support and servers will be unaffected as of now for games and things like that. And
if you
they
want
are-
to make sure that you get everything, just make sure your paychecks are direct deposit into the store.
yeah, only like $1,000 will do. You could buy everything on there. But as a reminder, as someone that works in video game retail, video game stores don't want to buy your account. So
yeah, no.
no matter how many digital games you have, they're worth bagel to the stores. By the way,
Yeah.
no matter who they are. And in fact, if a video game store does buy your account, and they are a reseller of consoles and things of that nature, send me a message. Send me a message who they were. We'll have words.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
also
no.
the Better Business Bureau and some legal action.
Yeah.
I do have something cute because tomorrow on the weekend Wednesday we will be playing Stray, and I
Yes!
cannot wait.
I've heard so many good things about that, and this is in addition to last week talking about it coming out. I've heard such good reviews about Stray, the cyberpunk you play as a kitty cat. No, cyberpunk, steampunk. Which is cyberpunk, right?
I mean, either or, cyberpunk, steampunk. It's of the
It's kitty punk.
kitty punk. So there's a lot of things going on with a lot of games, but
Looks like you double hit the button, so we're good.
Boner,
What?
this is the Travel Cat X Annapurna Interactive Stray branded cat carrier. You too can bring your four-legged friend up to a certain weight around with you
Sorry, I'm making the
in
Sonic face.
style, and I am so damn that Sonic. I didn't see him until that minute where you but super excited about this product. It is for pre-order currently. It will cost you £160. No, not in the least, Taco Pill. It is, however, for the safety of your animal, so that you do not accidentally put them in something that may be too small, or they may just burst through the bottom of if they become frustrated.
What did you
or
say
upset.
the weight limit was?
No, I said you can purchase it for £160.
Oh, I thought you said as long as your four-legged friend was under a certain.
Yes.
Okay.
I did not look further
Okay.
into what the
I'm
weight
just saying,
allotment for that
chances
is.
are my dog named Cat would not fit.
However, for 160 of those British ducats, you can get yourself one of these there.
The U.S.
branded.
dollar is really strong against the pound right now, so check it out.
Could be potentially less for you. Oh my god, of course they would make a cat carrier. They also made a cat harness, but the branding wasn't as apparent, and it also didn't have that bubble aesthetic, and so I'm not in for it.
Okay.
And if I'm going to buy a cat harness, I'm going to buy the Petco branded Come With Me Kitty. That even on the harness, the cat looks incredibly upset. Sorry. Because of those exact things, my wife has told me I'm not allowed to purchase it. But every time we go, like a child in a toy store, I hold it up for her and go, come with me, kitty. And she goes, the advertising for it couldn't even get a picture of a cat looking even comfortable in that thing. And I'm like, it's not. It's like having a bad day. The claws around. Like, but this, of course, not to do with Travel Cat and their wonderful products that are now in conjunction with Stray, but just a wonderful story that you didn't need and now you got.
I love it. I love it.
I saw that cat carrier and I thought to myself, I would, but Savannah doesn't travel well.
Okay.
She's not a fan of cars, and so I wouldn't necessarily be able to bring her places unless I hiked from the apartment, which I would for that cat. I would.
Dave, can you do the outro? My stomach is still upset.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a wonderful time here on
Oh, God.
Insane Games TV on the Nerd Glasses podcast. But like all good things, if you were late for it, you didn't get the full flavor. Next time, make sure you tune in and join us starting at 7:45 every Tuesday night. Make sure to ring that bell so you are notified and join us in the Discord down below. Thank you to everyone for joining this week. Boater, what are we playing on the Nerd Glass and on Citadel?
I am going to be playing Split Second on the Citadel. We had a really great time. We had a really cool raid come in from Goated Quest.
Hell yeah.
A really active community that came in as we were playing Split Second last week. It is a combat racer by Disney Interactive Studios, Black Rock Studio. A lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to just continuing in the game from that. So make sure that you tune in. In the meantime, folks, this has been the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I've been Boater.
I've been Dave Mann.
And we will see you next Tuesday, 7:45, right here at Insane Games TV. Bye, everybody. Where? Outro video. There it is.